And I'm back with another Front Row Talk podcast, the podcast with expensive opinions. Before I start, make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, and check the description down below where I have my link for my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Check into last episode, episode 152, where I talked about, you know, the upcoming Game 7 and also gave my thoughts on that. As you can see, uh, this is the last episode. Well, not really the last, but probably the last for a while about basketball. NBA season is over, so I will be talking about the outcome of Game 7, which we're all aware of now. But I'm just giving my thoughts and what's been going on in the off season as of yet. Let's get straight into it. So, Game 7 of the NBA Finals took place on Sunday, June 20. Hold on. June 22nd, so about 2 days ago. I'm actually recording a day earlier than than I usually record, but my schedule was looking a bit different this week. So I was like, you know what? I already know what I'm gonna talk about. Let me just get on this and give my opinion. But the 2025 NBA champions are the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I mean, I had them this series. Uh, I said that they would win in six. They didn't, but I also said if they don't win in six, they're definitely winning at home. Um, I definitely didn't have them winning coming into the playoffs. I think I made that clear. Uh, but I mean, of course, I had them going to the finals once I saw who they would match up against in the Western Conference Finals. But an overall thought, I honestly didn't think that they would, you know, take the chip. I'm not gonna lie, just because they were a young team. But clearly that's out the window now. They're now NBA champions, and SGA is Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, regular season MVP, and he got a ring. And I don't know if he led this the league in scoring as well. I might be wrong. I don't know, but I mean he's had a phenomenal year, a great year. Last point guard, or I even think last player in general who won MVP and won the chip that same season was Stephen Curry, and I think that was back in 2016 if I'm not mistaken. So SGA is definitely making history, and I think he's the youngest at that. So shout out to him. Um, Definitely putting on for Canada. He's a Canadian player, and also just for OKC in general. Shout out to Caruso. Uh, that's his second chip he won in 2025 with the Lakers, and now 5 years later he's winning with OKC. So that's two chips for him. Um, who else? Shout out Dort. Shout out Chet. Technically Chet's first year of playing in the NBA. Last year was his first, but he was injured. He came this year, played for the first time, and he won a ring, which is phenomenal. I mean, it's really really good. Uh, Now, before I even get to talking about that, it was it sucked because we all know what happened. Tyrese Halliburton suffered an injury early on in the game. Even though I did have OKC winning because just because they was at home, that doesn't mean I didn't think it would have been a chance for Pacers to win. But once I saw Tyrese Halliburton go down the way he did, I was like, yeah, this game is over. Because if they don't have him on the court, certain players aren't gonna play how their best potential if he's not out there setting them up, or if the defense ain't probably throwing two guys at Halliburton for a play or two, and having another guy open. With Halliburton, long story short, the team is better. I think everybody knows this. Um, I think he suffered an Achilles injury. Well, not I think he did suffer an Achilles injury, and it sucks because once I saw him go down, like I said, I'm like, damn, he is over. Then you see the replay, and then you see you've seen them injuries before, and at that with two other players this same season. So, it's crazy. I do think that we won't see a NBA player play on no strain like that anymore. Definitely, they're gonna sit it out, no matter what. It's definitely not an injury to play about, literally. And the two other guys are Tatum and Damian Lillard. Uh, and then Halliburton is the third for this season. I think that those guys, I know for sure Halliburton and Tatum, and I don't see why Dame wouldn't either. But those guys is definitely gonna miss a good chunk of next NBA season, and it sucks because it's they're players that the team needs them, and the team becomes better with them on the court. Uh, it's sad though because he had like 9 points in 6-7 minutes, so he probably would have had his highest scoring game out of that whole series would have been Game 7, and who knows, he would have probably made history winning, away against that OKC team. And but yeah, it was a close game. Halftime came back, and like halftime happened, game came back, and I told my friend, I'm like, yo, if OKC goes up 10, they're not looking back. It's over. And that's exactly what happened. They went up 10, and they kept that lead all throughout the fourth quarter. Pacers made it seem like they was gonna, they was right there. McConnell had like 12 points in the third quarter. He was having, a good stretch in that quarter. And they was probably down at some point 12, 13, probably 14 points, which isn't a huge lead, especially, for the Pacers. They've been coming back throughout the whole playoffs. So it had me thinking they was going to do a little something, but fourth quarter came up, started, and OKC maintained that lead, and then, made it a larger lead. So I was like, yeah, it's over. They're definitely going to win. For that last game, I think so. SGA had a 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 12 assists. The game before that, he had 21, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Game before that, 31 points, 10 assists, 4 blocks. He had a great defensive game that game. Game before that, June 13th, he had 35 points, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. So he put on every game. He it's not like he literally didn't drop under 20 this whole series. And I mean, you can't really argue if the MVP is going to him or it's not. He deserves it, like I said. And yeah, but the funny thing is that the day that the Thunder won, literally probably a couple hours before, probably 4 or 5 hours before the game started, Kevin Durant was traded to the Houston Rockets. And it was a shocker, but it really wasn't because we already heard talks, of it, you know, probably happening in the about next week or so, and it happened literally the day of Game 7. So KD's now a Houston Rocket. Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and some picks were sent to the Suns. And then now Drew Holiday is a Trailblazer once again, because he was sent to the Trailblazers before he was a Celtic. So from the Trailblazers, he went to the Celtics. Not from the Celtics, he's going to the Trailblazers. And who knows where he's going to be playing. I don't think the Trailblazers are going to keep him. I don't think he wants to play there either. But yeah. And then Jordan Poole is now a Pelican. So that's that. Hold on, let me see. Who did the Celtics receive? Hold on. I'll tell you right now. So the Celtics received Anthony Simons. So they got a younger player back. A lot of people saying that the Celtics is getting away with a great trade. Somebody also said that this is a loss trade in a while. Like both teams didn't gain nothing from it. I think, of course, time will tell and let us know which one is right, which one's wrong. But and then today, the Jordan Poole sent to the Pelicans. I think that we're starting to get, early trades happen. I think it's going to be a really active off season, especially that, we started with a big trade the day of the finals, and then Drew Holiday getting traded yesterday, and then today another trade. Probably by the time you guys see this, is a whole other trade or 2 trades or 3 trades that happened already. I do think it's going to be a crazy offseason. Probably might see Giannis in a different jersey. Probably might see some guys from Golden State in a different jersey. Anything is possible. It's gonna be crazy. OKC after winning the chip, they're trying to get a top 10 pick this year. So I mean, everybody's going to try to come back stronger. But for OKC to already be looking for a top 10 this year, I mean, I don't blame them. You got to do what you got to do, to win as much championship, especially with the young talent that you got, and they got the picks for it. So we definitely gonna see. But yeah, I mean, OKC's 2025 NBA champions. I did not expect it. Um, I mean, they definitely had to do it because they had basically 70 wins, but 68 to be exact. Were the first seed, beat a lot of teams, and that they think had the MVP on their team. So, they well equipped it, and we'll see how every other team plus OKC bounce back next season. I probably definitely will be talking about basketball. When more off-season trades happen. Moving forward, I might just start talking about music. Music is definitely gonna start to brew up and be dropping this summer. So yeah, that's really it. Hopefully Halliburton has a speedy, good recovery. He had posted like a picture and a whole paragraph for the Bible verse. I think yesterday. So he's definitely in good spirits. But I can only imagine it's super duper tough. Other guys like Tatum and Dame also going through it. And yeah, that's really it. It's part of it. It's sadly part of sports, and but you never want it to happen to your player or any player at that. So it's really crazy. But that's really it for this episode. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, and you share. God willing, I'll be back next week, episode 154. Your boy Salsita is out.